Allie Myers is with us here on the John Mendola Show. She's a junior at Crestwood on the field hockey squad, and obviously great tradition at Crestwood. You know, talk about first picking up that stick and what it was like. It was a kind of forced. You're like, no, I really like this. Did you like it at first? Did it grow on you?
Yeah, I started playing field hockey when I was really young. My mom was a college coach, and she kind of just had me jump in, doing clinics and camps, and I would say I definitely fell in love with the sport right when I started playing.
Your dad an athlete too, so you got two coaches in the family, so you're always getting coached. Hey, clean up that room, and make sure you do this with your plate or whatever it is, or go study in your room. Talk about that balance of being able to, hey, they're my parents, but they're doing it because they love me and they want me to be the best I can be. So talk about just kind of learning from them and being like, okay, I'm getting this. It's they're not just riding me because it's what parents do, but because they want you to be better.
Yeah, having both of my parents be coaches but also play in college, I think is very helpful because they know how it works and how they've been through it. And I would say definitely super helpful because my parents are my biggest support.
Well, you got a lot going on. You're athletic. You do track and field. You do field hockey. So let's go to the track and field. You're a sprinter. How did you get involved with track and field? Is it kind of a compliment, or it's like just something I love as well?
I kind of started doing track to almost stay in shape for field hockey, but my first year I loved it. I loved the coaches, and we were really successful in our events this year at districts, and I just love track. Yeah.
Field hockey wise, let's talk about positionally, where you play on the field, and some players around you that you think will help your team maybe go score.
Yeah, I play midfield, and I would say our team all together is we all connect very well. But on our forward line, we have Casey Oaks and Allie returning, and our whole team just moves up. We push up the field together, defense all the way to offense. So I would say we all connect really well, coming from the backfield.
Knowing that you have Maddie in goal, pretty solid back there. You got the Zabrowski girl and some of the other girls around her. Talk a little bit about defensively, how you feel and confident you are.
I would say our defensive line, like Zabrowski and Mackenzie, Kowalski and Maddie, they all have super good communication. And just like in Addie Robbins, they all, we transfer the ball really well coming out of the backfield, and Maddie's a huge part of that, using her voice, and it's really helpful.
Maddie had said one of the things I feel like we pass real well. Talk about that passing component, and obviously there's a lot of experience, which probably, we tie that into maybe the travel that everybody does, but you feel like everybody's probably pretty efficient?
Yeah, I would say one thing that we are really big on is coming back to the ball. So our offenders coming back to the ball from defenders to help it easier, to make it easier on them, but also just transferring around the field, which is really good.
A lot of weekends, a lot of miles, a lot of sleeping in the car while maybe the folks are driving, a lot of sacrifices. Talk about places you've been to and just kind of trying to soak up some weekends. We had a really good time down in Delaware this weekend.
Oh yeah, a lot of tournaments, especially going through the recruiting process. You're everywhere, and whether it's an indoor or outdoor. But I made my club team, we have a really good bond. So just being with them all the time is super fun. And we've been to beaches, and it's always just a good time.
Let's talk about that recruiting process for you. There's pulls and pushes and different things with it, and the challenges, and you kind of wound up saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do recently. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, obviously the recruiting process is very stressful, but my club coaches and even my high school coaches were a huge part of it. Laura Evans, she did almost all of my recruiting and helped me a lot. She made the process a lot less stressful for me, a lot better.
And then you got your folks, their influence, because they played. So talk a little bit about where you're going and why.
Yeah, so I'm going to Fairfield University. I looked at a lot of schools, and I always loved being coached by Coach Gebhardt and Coach Long. And I was there, and I strongly believe you'll know when you're in the right place, you'll know when you're there. And I went with my official, and I fell in love with the school and the campus and just the location of it and the coaching staff.
There's always a right fit out there for all of us, and that Fairfield will be that next stop for you. How about as far as this year's team at Crestwood? If you had to hang your hat, I asked your coach this question, if you had to hang your hat on what you think you're really good at this year, and then what do you think you still need to work on kind of as this season goes on? Because one of the things we know is you have a really challenging schedule this year.
Yeah, we do. We're traveling a lot with a rough schedule, but I think we're very strong in a lot of aspects, offensively wise and defensively. But I think one thing that we can do to just get to the next step is just that last finish of the ball, that desire to want to score. I think will really push us to be where we want to be.
All right, Allie, good to catch up with you. Have a great day.
Thank you.